So blue lights are, they're very, very important when it comes to your sleep. And understanding that is the first step. And then understanding what actions you can take is the next. So we're actually going to dive into both of these when it comes to you as a first responder. So the first thing to understand about blue lights is blue lights come from the sun. They come from any screens, devices. They come from anything that has that green or blue light. So the dashboard of your vehicle, lights, alarm clocks, all of these different things have blue lights in them. And way back before lights were invented, our bodies used to go into this circadian rhythm that worked with the sunrise and the sunset. And as soon as blue lights came in, as soon as light was created, so the light bulb, because there's blue lights in that, they found that different people weren't sleeping as much. People were able to stay up later and do things. And it started really affecting different health issues, and a lot of disorders started coming out after the light bulb was invented. So if we're really cognizant of that, that it does come from all of the light. Now, when you're a first responder, it's one of those things where you guys are working nights, trying to sleep in the day, 24-hour, 48-hour shifts. You guys, your circadian rhythms are already all over the map. And when we're looking at it as far as screens go, there's just a couple of things that we can be cognizant of to try to get the best sleep possible. So the first thing to note is that any device, any of the things that I talked about, like bright light bulbs, the sun, the dashboards in your car, all of these things do have blue lights, and especially your devices. It can take 1 to 2 hours for the chemicals to change in your brain after blue lights are decreased, to tell your brain that it is okay to start decreasing your energy hormone and increasing your sleep melatonin hormone. So many people struggle, many of you guys struggle with that falling asleep. And falling asleep where you're tired and wired is quite often extra stress, energy, cortisol hormone is floating around in that frontal lobe of your brain. And it's sitting there saying, hey, I'm awake, I'm ready to go, let's do things. So you start thinking about everything from, getting new tires on your car, to a bill that needs to be paid, to a fight, to something that needs to get done at work, to this whole revolving thoughts that can also be traumatic calls, but it could just be nothing, absolutely nothing. You just can't shut off your brain. And so understanding that blue lights play a big role in this. Now, that being said, if you're finishing a shift at 7 a.m., you don't, and you want to go to sleep as soon as you get home, you don't want to start eliminating blue lights as you're on your way home if you're tired, because as soon as your melatonin starts kicking in, that's when you can fall asleep behind the wheel. So that's when it's not safe. And it's really important to make sure that, as unsafe as that is, like it's really important to understand when you should be blocking your blue lights and when you shouldn't. So if there is a safety issue at all, don't. But if you do live very close to home and you are not sleep deprived, let's say that you were on a 24-hour shift and you didn't have any calls at night and you did get some sleep, then but you still need to sleep again when you're getting home, then you will want to get something like a blue light blocking glasses. Now, the ones that I have for blue light blocking glasses are more with a clear screen. I've learned a bit more since I got these glasses a couple of years ago. These are from my optometrist, and they put a blue light blocking coating on it, which is covered by insurance. Now, since I've been doing more research in the last few years on blue light blocking glasses, blue light blocking glasses are supposed to reflect more. So technically there should be even more of a reflection on my glasses to the screen, because technically they're supposed to be blocking off the blue lights of my screen. And so you want more with that orangey tint. Buying off of Amazon for the cheapest pair, you're most likely getting counterfeits that aren't going to have that blocking properties. Swanwick, I'll actually post a link below. They're who I use. And I'm looking into them now. They're in the States. And because optometrists were giving these clear lenses, I have my kids have the daytime lenses from them that have a slight oranges tint, just a mild oranges tint to them. And that mild oranges tint will help you block more from the screens and everything, but you still can get the other light in. At night before my kids, if we are putting our kids in front of the TV at night, which happens sometimes, I mean, life happens. We can't be perfect in all of this. But my kids have the ones with the orange on them. But because I'm prescription, I couldn't get those. So Swanwick actually has started offering prescriptions, of which my husband's been looking into if our insurance will cover prescriptions in the United States, and they will if they have certain criteria. So we think they have all the criteria. We just need to double check one more thing with our insurance company, and I will be ordering a new pair from them that will be for while I'm on the screen, that will give me a little bit more blue light blocking protection at the same time as my prescription, so that I can see what I'm actually doing. So having those glasses for any of you that are on surveillance, are on screens, are at a desk job. My husband, as soon as he switched from being on the road to being in emergency management and logistics and more in planning on the screens, he instantly went and got his prescription filled from our optometrist as well. So we're going to be switching his out as well to the orange ones from Swanwick. So it is important that any of you that are dispatchers, that you do try to get some sort of a blue light blocking glasses if you're spending your entire shift on a screen. When you have these blue lights, it actually sends an excitatory response in your brain. And that excitatory response gets your stress hormone kicked up. So we are trying with you guys to get your stress system controlled as much as possible. And so getting blue light blocking glasses when you are doing shifts in front of a screen is a huge advantage in taking stress off of your stress system. You're still going to have the call volume or things that are coming off your screen that are stressful. We can't take those things out of the equation, but what we can take is this excitatory response that is kicking in your stress system from your screens for your entire 12, 24-hour, however long your shifts are. And that compounds over time and makes a huge difference. So getting them in the day for your job, if you are involved in front of screens. If you aren't in front of screens, you can get on all of your phones, you can get blue light blocking apps that kick in. You can have alarms on them to kick in at certain times. I have one on my computer screen. I have one on my phone. But it is best to abstain from any devices 2 hours before bed. So I would not suggest at all to have blue light blocking glasses on your drive home if they're the ones that really filter it out just for safety while you're driving. But I would suggest no screens at all. If you do have dashboard lights that are that blue or that green color that are coming out, then you could wear the daytime blue light blocking glasses, but not the nighttime ones, just for a whole safety aspect there. So we have covered 1 to 2 hours before screen time, your melatonin. It takes for your melatonin to start kicking in again and your stress hormone to lower, which decreases that tired and wired feeling. Then we have the glasses that are hugely important. So what other things can you guys do? So what we have done is we don't have our phones in our bedroom. There are times my husband's on call, so he has it on, but he has it on airplane mode. Airplane mode, you only get calls coming in. there's no notifications, no text, none of those things. So he'll have that on airplane mode when he is on call. When he is not on call, phones are out of our room. And we have alarm clocks. We just went to, I don't know, Canada, we have Radio Shack, or you can go to Best Buy and grab a cheap $10-15 radio. You can get them on Amazon as well. Get a really cheap radio that has red lights on it, because the red lights don't stimulate your melatonin. So if in the middle of your sleep you're checking the light at all, then that will help to shift that. But if you have one that is blue or green, it's going to decrease your melatonin, increase your stress waking hormone, and you're not going to be able to get into as good of a sleep if you are waking mid-sleep. We have blackout blinds and blackout curtains in our bedroom, and I actually have it where we can pin the curtains shut, so there is no, where the curtains close, there's no gap in them at all where light can be coming through, because any light can interfere. My husband's sleep when he is trying to sleep in the day. Light can find its way in, so really making sure that it is covered up. And the other thing as well is the bathroom. If you can find curtains that you can put close when you are sleeping on day shift, or are sleeping in the day after night shift, so that you can make sure that if you have to go to the bathroom mid-sleep, you're not being exposed to blue lights. So making sure that you can control as much of those blue lights as possible is hugely, hugely important. Okay, I'm going to see if there's any questions. There's no questions. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm just going to recap what we did just go over right now. So 1 to 2 hours, it takes 1 to 2 hours after being on any screens, after being on any devices, any devices under harsh lights. So turning down your lights, closing your curtains on day shift. That's what I didn't go over. Day shift sleeping, that is really hard. Day shift sleeping is when you have to go to bed before the sun has gone down, sun has set, is really, really hard. So closing the curtains on your main floor and dimming your lights, making sure that they are brighter, getting some blue light blocking glasses to wear for 2 hours before you are going to try to go to bed early pre-day shift is a huge help in order to be able to decrease your exposure to that blue light, because it does take 1 to 2 hours after you have been exposed to those lights for your stress energy hormone to lower and your melatonin, your sleep hormone, to raise. Blue light blocking glasses are phenomenal. Make sure that you don't get counterfeits from Amazon. You can get prescriptions from Swanwick. I'll post a link below. I have no affiliate with the link or anything. It's just who I buy from. And they do offer prescriptions. They're in the States. Make sure from Canada that you do have insurance to see that your insurance would cover it if you do get your prescription filled with blue light blocking glasses from the States. And those in the States, check with your insurance to see if it's covered by them. And you can get ones for daytime screen with less of an orange lens, but they still should always have some sort of a reflection off of them, because they actually are reflecting and repelling the light. So if they're like mine, where I don't have tons of reflection, they actually aren't, they're actually absorbing more blue lights than you do want during the day. And the last thing, making sure your whole bedroom is not exposed to blue lights so that you can sleep in the day, in the night, and all throughout. All right. Any questions? Definitely keep me posted, and email us if you want to. If you don't want to make a comment, email us support@911lifestyle.com, and we are always here to help.